Hi there. I'd like to welcome you to our presentation. I'm Scott Highland. We're going to talk about outcomes and the death of heroes. Quick introduction to who we are. I'm a solution lead at VMware Platform Services. I came to VMware from Pivotal Labs Platform Services as a product manager for 2 years. I've got 15 years of experience in mostly defense and federal projects, though some in the private sector as well, working in infrastructure management, software development, information security, project and program management. And I have worked with, and led a wide variety of teams and organizations during that time.
Good afternoon. My name is Johnny Semeka. I work for Raytheon Technologies, where I primarily serve as a product manager focused on digital transformation projects across our customer portfolio. Most of those are federal customers. I have prior history with Kessel Run and projects across the Navy and the Air Force. My focus is on delivering high quality software and platforms. I've performed this at the project level, usually through some type of process engineering and eliminating the "that's the way we've always done it" mantra, down to the product level through managing agile backlogs and sprints. I have a passion for building teams through innovative hiring, dynamic skills development, and continuous improvement. Today, we're going to present our view on hero culture within product teams and how focusing on eliminating that culture and building leaders will ultimately result in better human and product-related outcomes. This presentation is intended to be light treatment of an extremely broad and deep topic, but it's also a journey, and we'd love to continue the conversation that we have today during the Q&A, and also as fellow participants in a community of interest after our presentation.
Thanks, John. So let's talk about the age of heroes.
Looks like Scott might be having some communication issues, so I'm going to go ahead and take this slide over. Scott and I have been fortunate to work on many projects with some amazing teams, as well as teams that struggle, and we spend some time discussing and coming to an agreement on some of the more commonly accepted assumptions about and traits of heroes. We came up with this, in short, a hero. Heroes usually value their labor over their well-being. They typically take ownership during a crisis. And they usually act without expectation of reward or gain. Most heroes are good-intentioned, right? But they're taken for granted, and we usually think that heroes are good and good for an organization. Our challenge, however, is this: are heroes really good in the context of platforms and products? In our engagements with customers who rely on heroes, we find that many of them are tragic. They lead imbalanced lives that make it almost impossible to get work done on a set schedule, usually sacrificing time with their family and friends. This also has the unfortunate effect of exacerbating health issues. Heroes are universally taken advantage of, especially as management of a crisis reaches higher levels of visibility. I can't tell you how many engagements Scott and I have been on where a Kubernetes cluster becomes unresponsive or a personnel management system crashes. And the first statement out of an executive's mouth is, "Look, I just want the problem fixed. I don't care who does it or what time it is." This is an injustice to your employees, not just the heroes, and it's shaped to be for the greater good or do your duty no matter the impact on your personal life. Heroic efforts, though, are anti-diversity and exclusionary. And finally, heroes inadvertently become bottlenecks to progress, especially if there is an emergency and they are not available. I think back to the hero Brent in the Phoenix Project, who's described as a living, breathing constraint on the organization because all of that knowledge is in his head. Scott, are you back?
I'm back.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Johnny.
You're welcome.
So another problematic aspect of heroes and hero culture is that heroes clash with others. And because of that, it can be, toxic. Heroes clash with leadership, causing wider strife that affects more than just the hero. Heroics are unsustainable by heroes and humans. And as mentioned, tired heroes, make mistakes or fail in their efforts. Heroes are also sometimes openly enabled or tacitly emboldened by management to mistreat others inside and outside of their team. This damages the psychological safety, team morale, and the team's reputation as a whole. It also contributes negatively to the interpersonal aspects of a hero's life. As mentioned, they often lead tragic and unbalanced lives. Another problem is that because humans admire heroes, some want to follow in their footsteps, and that makes hero culture into a self-perpetuating problem. All of these negative behaviors can infect other team members who are inexperienced and are afraid of making waves and cause them to follow. This usually means that heroes work alone, and they tend to act on instinct rather than through reason. Many times they don't follow defined processes, which can lead to mistakes, compliance, security issues, and they don't teach or learn from others well, meaning lost opportunities for growth and upskilling of both the hero and the rest of the team. A painful side effect of heroes working alone is that when working alone,
Looks like we're having some more audio issues, but what Scott was going to get at was that usually heroes work alone, and a painful side effect is that context and organic knowledge and your ability to sustain a team through the loss of personnel, either through the loss of a hero or anybody else, becomes paramount, and that context and organic knowledge is crucial to that. Give Scott some time to get back and get connected, and then
I got back. So
we will move.
I'm just going to stay on the phone.
We will move to slide 5. So, compounding the issues discussed in previous slides, a culture of heroes within a software organization usually ends badly. Many heroes go away. They're usually not before making themselves irreplaceable on a team because, again, they've hoarded all of that knowledge and done most of the work themselves. Once they've grown tired of doing everything themselves, usually because they refuse help, they decide to take their skills to another organization that values the expertise and not the human concerns of heroics. As prominent and intelligent as heroes are, they inevitably fail, leaving the organization to pick up the pieces. Account passwords are unknown because they aren't kept in credential stores. They're saved in someone's, a hero's brain. Undocumented code is confusing and difficult to parse, which usually leads to the second most frequent statement Scott and I hear at engagements during times of crisis. Well, how did we fix this the last time? The usual response, and I'm sure it's one you've all heard before, I don't know, Brent did it. He was here overnight the last time and didn't put anything in the ticket. So the impacts to the hero on a personal level are infinitely more important to an organization. The financial results of an extended outage due to hero culture are usually catastrophic and far-reaching. A hero culture must transform for an organization to sustain success.
Thanks, Johnny. So let's transition to the age of outcomes. What do we achieve by turning heroes into team leaders? One of the first things is consensus-driven decision-making. You encourage a sense of ownership and provide greater diversity of opinion in products. Cross-functional teams with maximized and more holistic skill sets that allows team members to develop new skills as a matter of course. We're able to create a higher quality product at a greater velocity with the same investment in people. We can achieve a higher degree of diversity and inclusion. We develop better work and team sustainability to reduce burnout, improve onboarding, and encourage esprit de corps. We build cultures that value psychological safety, which, as Google's Project Aristotle found, is the #1 requirement for enabling a high-performing team. Because your team works better together, they also work better with stakeholders, driving improved stakeholder engagement. All of these things feed into better work environments, lower churn, and higher employee satisfaction. This isn't an exhaustive list, and here's where we begin the transition to hope and solutions. It's never too late to help heroes acting alone to become leaders enabling teams. It's an escapable track with proper management, organizational change, and fostering team culture. Here's the thing. It isn't that heroic efforts are never needed. It's that it's critical that heroic efforts should never be normalized.
So what's the first stage in the age of outcomes? It's important that we establish a set of metrics so that we understand the scope of our issue using data. The data we collect will help us learn whether or not we're being successful in our transformation, the outcome part of this effort. So let's start by establishing and tracking just a basic set of people metrics. Measuring team turnover and comparing it to a baseline set will help us identify flashpoints in our transition. Did we make a change to benefits or deliver a rough feature that required overtime? Normally, we're fully staffed at this point in the year, but we lost 2 engineers shortly after those decisions were made. We can review burn down reports to see how many story points are closed. It's important to note here, though, that tracking story points and velocity outside of our team is not useful. It shouldn't be used to compare your teams, but it is useful to determine if a team member is happy in contributing or struggling to keep up. Should we schedule a one-on-one with that person who's struggling? Should I pair them with another engineer whose strengths can help improve their development? Do I need to schedule a group outing to improve morale? Excess hours worked is a pretty attainable metric for a leader and can be used as an indicator of work-life balance issues. Workplace satisfaction surveys are we're a big proponent of, Scott and I, in a lot of engagements that we've worked. It allows us to continually improve and monitor the way that we're collecting metrics. They'll focus on your desired team outcomes and attempt to gain an understanding as to the metrics that you're collecting. So, for example, a simple one that we use: how likely are you to recommend company A as a place to work? It's important, too, that you encourage narrative or hybrid answers, not just numeric. Going back to psychological safety, it's important that you give your employees a chance to speak their mind in all types of forums that they're comfortable in, so that you get the most valuable feedback and they feel that they're listened to.
So what's next in the age of outcomes? As agile leaders, it's important that you actively manage heroism and heroic effort in order to affect positive change through culture. You do this by enabling sustainable work hours. Now, this is not a schedule. It's a way for your team to work together efficiently and ensure that they can balance both work and life. Pairing with other leaders, your peers, folks up and down your leadership chain, and within other organizations will help you to build perspective and share strategies. Managing to the metrics you implement. If you have information that indicates a need for improvement, act on it. Be forceful in removing the hero constraint. You should pair your heroes, now leaders, with junior team members. Junior-senior pairing is the best way to upskill new or junior team member and help keep your senior team member sharp. Rotate pairs on a consistent schedule to make sure skills aren't the province of only 2 people on the team. And then you should commit to frequent one-on-ones. Now, again, one-on-ones are not meant as a performance measure, but a way to engage with your team and understand their feelings on satisfaction, morale, and psychological safety. Celebrate awesome work through ceremonies and events. Weekly demos. You created something awesome. I want everyone to see it again and gain context for organic knowledge. Weekly retros. We did a lot of great things this week. What did we love? What do we need to improve? What can we eliminate or automate? Foster full participation. During ceremonies and other events, encourage and challenge your team members to be engaged and to speak up. And then you should lead by example in all of these practices. If you aren't seen committing to removing hero constraints, you will not be able to change team culture.
So how do we put all of this goodness together and create a process for my organization? Processes, as we know, make it easy to do the right thing and adjust to changing conditions quickly. Many organizations that provide a product as a service to its users have to deal with toil. Toil can be defined as those operational tasks that are manual, repetitive, and aren't delivering much value because we're just going to have to do them again at some point. We notice that consistent toil in our engagements often results in heroic action. Wears on a team if it's not addressed. Look, we just need to get this done. It won't take that long. Let's just knock it out so we can move on. That mindset, ignoring excessive toil or just dealing with it in the moment, is going to make for an unhappy and disengaged team members and can result in decreased job satisfaction, which we're identifying in our workplace satisfaction surveys. It's imperative that you manage everything as a product. This is key to determine what's important to your team and your stakeholders, and to ultimately determine what your priorities are. Your team members value challenging work and the opportunity to constantly innovate on their product. Challenge them during iteration planning to automate common sources of toil. Doing so will result in improved moods and, frankly, a more resilient product. We recommend and are big fans of establishing a site reliability engineering practice in your software organization. This practice, as we mentioned before, was created by Google and helps an organization manage products in a responsible, humane way. SLOs and SLIs and error budgets provide goalposts that quantify and help manage product change to include new features and emergency fixes. The incident response and post-mortem process will help your team keep composure under duress, say when you're having internet problems, and provide a framework to the necessity of an emergency. Incident response plans define key communication personnel, which offer an opportunity for all members of a team to fill important roles during times of crisis. This is a great example of an opportunity for junior-senior pairing. A senior engineer can conduct an incident response game day exercise and allow the junior engineer to act as the incident commander. This role is important. It helps coordinate, communicate, and control an incident when it's happening. The technological benefits of this are obvious. The people benefits are immense. Shared knowledge, team balance, and the ability to scale your response are all results attained with this practice. When recognizing heroic effort, ensure that it isn't normalized by conducting postmortems. These focused retrospectives challenge team members to determine whether a crisis can be prevented the next time. They provide opportunities for improving the product through additional features, and they act as an archive for continuous improvement. We can always go back and look at what we did using a particular postmortem. Whatever you do, keep learning, keep changing, and stay focused on your outcomes. Thank you.
So thank you. We'd love for you to stay after for Q&A. And if you'd like to connect with us, we'll have our information here. And I think the deck will be available for download and the video should be available on Spring One. Thanks very much.
Everyone. Appreciate it.